5 years ago, I stood on the steps of the courthouse, watching my ex-wife disappear into the city's blur without so much as a final glance. 8 years of marriage had come to an end not with dramatic fight or slammed doors, but with quiet signatures and the cold echo of footsteps walking away. Not long after, I heard whispers. She had remarried a wealthy businessman, someone from the high-rise world. She once claimed held no appeal. She used to scoff at men like him. Tailored suits, imported cologne, wallets that never emptied. But apparently, when one of them came along, she stepped into his life and right out of mine. Our divorce, by legal standards, was clean. Emotionally, though, it wrecked me. She told me I lacked ambition, that I was too content with a modest life. I was a high school teacher back then, content with lesson plans, cafeteria coffee, and a quiet life rooted in purpose rather than flash. But that wasn't enough for her. When he arrived, with his polished charm and bottomless bank account, she chose him without hesitation. The pain didn't leave all at once. It faded slowly, like old wallpaper peeling back layer by layer. I moved to a smaller town, quiet, green, full of ordinary people living honest lives. I opened a tutoring center with what little I had, offering after-school help to kids who couldn't afford the big names. It grew. Word spread. Eventually, I expanded into consulting, working with schools to modernize their programs. It wasn't headline-worthy success, but it was mine, built from the ground up with purpose and patience. I didn't date much. Not because I was bitter, but because peace once earned becomes something sacred. My work kept me grounded. My students reminded me daily of the things that mattered. People would ask if I ever regretted losing her, if I missed what we had. But how could I mourn someone who chose someone else over me so easily? Then, one afternoon, an invitation arrived. A mutual friend's 40th birthday party, hosted in the city. I held the card in my hand for a long while. Part of me wanted to throw it away. But a quieter part, the steady, unbothered version of myself I become, told me to go. I wasn't the man she had walked away from, and I didn't need to hide. The party was at a grand hotel downtown, the kind she used to dream about when we were scraping together rent. I showed up alone, wearing a simple navy suit. No luxury car, no theatrics, just me. I was sipping a glass of sparkling water, watching the swirl of tuxedos and glittering dresses, when I saw her, across the room, lit softly by chandelier light. She stood in a curve-hugging red dress, her hair pinned up elegantly, surrounded by laughter and noise. She looked just as I remembered, only sharper now, refined in a way money can buy. But the moment her eyes met mine, everything in her posture faltered. Her smile froze mid-laugh. She walked toward me slowly, the crowd shifting around her like a tide. That familiar stride, measured, confident, hadn't changed. She stopped a few feet away. Her gaze scanned me like an old photograph she hadn't seen in years. "Well," she said, a smirk tugging at her lips. "Still the same." I smiled, steady. "In some ways, maybe, but not even close in others." She tilted her head, studying me. No flashy suit, no entourage. Still the teacher. "Actually," I said quietly, "I own a few learning centers now. I consult with schools on modernizing their systems. We just partner with the education ministry." Her brow lifted, and for a second, something flickered in her expression. "That sounds different." "It is," I nodded. "More responsibility, more freedom." "What about you?" She gave a light, practiced laugh. "You know me. I'm married well. We travel, host charity events, attend galas. Life's been full." The words landed hollow, like she was reading from a script she didn't believe in anymore. And behind her perfectly applied makeup and poised tone, I noticed something else, fatigue, maybe even regret. "I'm happy for you," I said honestly, my voice gentle. She blinked. "Are you?" "I am. You found what you were looking for, and I found what I needed." The music continued around us, but in that moment, everything else faded. It was just the two of us, strangers once again, but bound by a shared history only we knew. "You look good," she said, softer now, healthier, peaceful. "Peace does that to you," I replied. She looked away for a moment, then back again. Do you ever think about how it ended? Sometimes, I admitted, but mostly I think about how far I've come since then. She nodded slowly. Her eyes glistened with something unspoken. I used to believe money would fix everything. And did it? I asked, not as a challenge, but with quiet curiosity. It gave me things, but not peace, not fulfillment. I said nothing. Some truths speak louder in silence. She adjusted her bracelet, the diamonds catching the light. "It's good to see you," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "You too," I replied and meant it. She turned to leave, walking back to her circle of elegance and carefully constructed image. But halfway there, she paused, glanced over her shoulder. Our eyes met one last time. This time, her smile wasn't proud or smug. It was softer, nostalgic, almost wistful. Not the smile of someone who had won, but someone who remembered something real. And I stood there, untouched by the old ache, anchored by the man I'd become. I didn't miss her. I didn't resent her. I didn't need her to be sorry. The life I had built didn't require her approval or validation. When I left the party an hour later, I walked past rows of polished black sedans and luxury imports. Mine waited at the end of the block. Humble, reliable, but it held something no luxury vehicle ever could. Peace, freedom, and the quiet, unshakable dignity of self-worth. Once, she had asked if I was still the same. Now, I finally had the answer. No, I had become better.